This is Dr. Solidoni, founder of ImpactSwing.com. If you go to our site, there's an article called The Flying Right Elbow. It's the bomber's secret. So you just click on that link and you'll see this article that explains how today's tour has a lot of young players like Rickie Fowler and Jordan Spieth and Brooks Koepka that have a very restricted elbow movement on the backswing, emulating Hogan more than anybody else. But over the years, the great hitters from Bobby Jones to Sam Snead to Jack Nicklaus to Tom Watson to Norman, Couples, Davis Love, Ernie Els, John Daly, Mickelson, Vijay Singh, young Tiger Woods, Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, even Rory McIlroy, all had very loose swings where the right elbow was far away from the body. So if you go in here and you can see Bobby Jones, he had a flying right elbow. Also had a lot of leg action where he lifted his left heel far off the ground. Sam Snead, again, the right elbow was very far away from his body. One of the greatest swings, and he lasted for decades. This is Byron Nelson. It's very hard to find an image of Byron with his elbow really in this position, but he also had the elbow far away from his hip. These are known as disconnected swings. Nicklaus was infamous for it, the flying right elbow. He also had a lot of left heel action like Snead. Even Player had a lot of disconnection from his hip to his elbow right here. Not as much as the other hitters. Young Tom Watson also had a very disconnected elbow, even though as an older golfer he's connected it more. Norman, his elbow was very far out. So these are the great players. One of the great swings that has held up decades, even though he has a bad back. Freddie Couples, excellent flying right elbow. Okay, this promotes a much higher hand position than most amateurs get into. So this is how, for most of the 20th century, golf developed loose, free swings. Davis Love, the third, again, his elbow was way out, and he was one of the big bombers in his era. Vijay Singh is another swing that's held up well into his 50s. Elbows very far away from his body. Ernie, the Big Easy, Ernie Els, another swing that's held up, competing very competitively late into his 40s, winning majors. Again, right elbow that's far away from his hip. Daly, one of the longest hitters in modern history. Huge flying right elbow. Phil Mickelson, another swing that's held up for decades. It's an older picture of Phil. It's not as flying. When he was younger, it was much more disconnected. But again, he still flies that right elbow. A young Tiger Woods, very disconnected right elbow. Today, he's more like Hogan with the elbow very close to his body. But when Tiger was a young, free swinger with exceptional length, he had a very loose swing. Bubba, one of the big hitters today's generation, huge flying left elbow in his case because he's a lefty. Okay, but again, very disconnected elbow. Today's big hitter on tour, Dustin Johnson, huge flying right elbow, way past parallel like Daly. Rory, when he was a little younger, he was a much looser swinger. Now that he's not winning as much, he's more connected, and it's hurt his overall performance, I believe. But you can see he still has a very disconnected elbow. Now, the restricted right elbow swingers, it's basically Ben Hogan's concept that a lot of people have emulated. Older Tiger Woods does it, Jordan Spieth, Brooks Koepka, Ricky Fowler. They all have this very restricted right elbow close to their body at the top of their backswings. This is a solid, repeatable swing, but it prohibits beginning golfers from developing a loose swing. So now you can see a mature Tiger has that elbow very tight to his body. And since Tiger's moved over, what has he won in majors in the last 10 years? Yes, he's had a lot of injuries, but I believe this close right elbow is prohibiting him from dominating as he once did. Ricky Fowler hasn't won a major yet, one of the great young players. Very restricted right elbow. Okay? This is a very hard position for beginning amateurs to get into. Pros can do it after a lot of training. Here, Jordan Spieth, one of the great young players today. Again, he's got that elbow very close to his body, much more like Hogan than any of the older swings. And then the guy that's tearing up the tour lately with 3 major victories with this athletic build has his elbow very restricted, Brooks Koepka. So, modern game, Koepka, Spieth, Fowler, a mature Tiger, very restricted swings, all emulating Hogan. Yet, the great hitters, the long bombers, always have a flying right elbow, way away from their body. The real big hitters have it way up in the air. That promotes a higher swing arc. The hands get very high above the head, and that's how you get the biggest arc in a swing. That's a loose swing. Tiger had that more when he was young. Phil had it. Daly had it. Ernie has it. VJ has it. Davis Love III has it. Freddie still has it. Norman had it. Watson had it in his young years when he dominated majors. Player had it. Jack certainly is infamous for a flying right elbow. And it all goes back to even greats like Nelson, especially Snead. And it all originated with Bobby Jones, getting that right elbow way out, loosening up the body to do a full shoulder turn, getting the weight on the back foot at the top of the backswing, and then learning the down move where you connect the flying right elbow to the hip to bring it inside into the slot to swing into out. Okay, so at the top of the swing, the bombers have always been loose swingers, and today's game is dominated by very connected Hogan-esque type swingers. So if you're having a problem with distance, work in a mirror, get that right elbow away from you and loosen up your swing, and all of a sudden your swing speed will increase just from the bigger arc that your hands are able to make because they get way above your head. That's my swing tip for Impact Swing today. This is Dr. Saul Adoni. My site's sauladoni.com, and my golf site is impactswing.com. Download my book. We have instruction in South Florida if you're in the area. We do clinics, and we're out to teach people how to have a nice, loose, natural, old-fashioned swing that amateurs can hit the ball a lot easier with. This is Dr. Saul Adoni. Have a great day.